Hey guys, it's COREROSS and 1.6 News. Today we have the patch notes for the next season of Rainbow Six Siege, which is Year 10, Season 2, Operation Daybreak. And we'll start with the designer notes today. We've also got the full patch notes as well after this, but I think you guys will probably be interested in the balancing first. So of course we got our balancing graphs. We can see this is PC, Platinum and above, and you can see quite a good collection of operators, and then Ash, Ace, we got Buck and Dokkaebi. Some of the worst performing is Sense and the new operator. Then moving over to console, a little bit more spread out. Ash very high, again followed by Ace. Then Twitch going down to Buck and Dokkaebi. Sense is lower and the new operator is also lower. Now I'm kind of assuming this operator will push up a little bit over time because they're quite a hard operator to get used to using well. But overall, the two graphs here are not looking crazy bad. You'd probably want Miss Ash here to be a touch lower, but other than that, it's kind of a normal looking graph. Moving on to our defenders. We've got Doc and Legion in the high picks. We've got Chanka down here with Clash, and of course this is on PC. And moving over to console, it's quite similar, but again a bit more exaggerated. We have Doc, then we have our Goyu. He's getting used a lot because he has a high rate of fire weapon. It has a lot of recoil, but the cheaters are using it, and especially with an ACOG, it's a great pick. So a lot of people are using that on console with Goyu, whereas Goyu on PC is down here. Then Clash down here. I wonder how Clash's rework is going to work out. I don't think she's going to get much higher, but we'll see. Then we've got our bans. So Blackbeard, Dokkaebi, Blitz on PC, with Blackbeard, Jackal, and Dokkaebi on console. Moving over to defenders, we've got Fenrir, Mira, and then Clash on PC, followed by Kapkan, Mira, and then Fenrir on console. And then we've got the operator balancing, so Blackbeard, and they have a lot you can read about here. Of course, links in the description below if you want to read everything. But basically, the rundown here is they are looking to potentially do more changes to Blackbeard in the future. What they are doing is adding a tint to his glass and making it so the audio is much more easy to hear when he puts his glass up and down. And this is basically just to help you figure out when he is vulnerable, and of course when he's also lethal, as he'll shoot at you when that glass is down. We've also got the Clash remaster. They go over a lot of the stuff they're changing here, but the shield when deployed can be destroyed by explosives, or anyone just walks up to it and vaults through, whether that's a defender or an attacker. Moving on from that, we have smaller changes. So Sledge got a really cool update, which is he can now hit shields and he'll knock them over. Now, this of course is just for Clash right now, but remember we're getting the new game mode, which is 6v6, and it has a mix of attackers and defenders. So Sledge will be hitting blitzes, Montans and stuff like that because they could be on the enemy team in that game mode. Then we got Jackal getting hit with what I would consider to be a very big nerf. So he's getting more charges of his ability, now 5 instead of 3, but they're only going to send off 1 ping when you scan the footprints, and the footprints will just vanish after that. I think the better way to use him now is to follow those actual footprints to the defender rather than actually scanning them. The footprints are also not going to show the usual colors you might have come to expect with Jackal, as you won't be able to tell as easily how old they are now. Then we've got Jaeger. So Jaeger can now capture Capital bolts and Gridlock's tracks. I'm very surprised to actually not see any changes here for Wamai, to add a few things to his kind of inventory of what he can capture. And this is a pretty good buff for Jaeger too, so quite an interesting thing. I think that probably has come from the pros, because a lot of pro tactics do use Capital. Then we got a change to Thunderbird. This is super interesting. So this, our stations, our healing stations, will now only heal allies. That means if you're Brava, you can now go and hack them, and then they'll become your controlled item, which will heal attackers. So pretty damn cool. So yeah, as Brava, I'm going to be hacking them quite a bit. Now, Ella and Zofia have got some significant nerfs here, both to their concussion mines. So instead of 7 meters, they're reducing the concussion mine impact down to 4 meters, which is a lot smaller, be harder to hide them overall. And for Zofia, same with concussions, going down to 4 meters. Then we've got a general change to electricity, so it no longer does damage to players, but it will now damage every single gadget in the game, kind of like old school Siege. So if I throw a nitro cell on a reinforced wall, it'll get fried. Then we've got the limb damage. So this is definitely interesting because they haven't changed kind of hitbox stuff in a long time. So they're going to reduce the damage to kind of basically legs and arms. And yeah, we'll see how this plays out. It just means that, of course, you want to get those body shots or headshots. Then you got the brand new repel and the repel breach. This is quite interesting. This is a hot breach where you no longer need a breaching charge, but you do still need to damage and destroy the barricade before you go through. So either shooting it, maybe using a gun 6, or maybe someone else is helping you. Maybe you're doing the hot breach, but someone else shoots the barricade out from under you and you go flying through the window. So it's just a faster way to get in overall. And of course, the new repel system is the ability to sprint while repelling, and you can go around corners and all that as well. Then we've got some weapon balancing, which is just shields. So they're making it so that you cannot aim down sights while you're doing stuff like vaulting anymore. And this affects operators like Blackbeard, Blitz, Fuse, and Monty. Of course, Clash cannot aim her gun while vaulting. Then we have the rank distribution. This is PC, and this is console. Now let's move over to the other patch notes. So this is one that's a bit more graphically interesting to look at. Of course, the Clash rework. You can see most of this is the same, but she has lost her deployable shield. So barbed wire, impact grenades, she is still a 1-speed, usual loadout for guns, and of course her shield as her primary. Now going down from this, we've got free to play, or free access as they're calling it, as ranked will still be paid to get into. We've got the new 6v6 dual front game mode, a new map for that game mode as well called District. Then there's the modernized maps where they're bringing in a whole bunch of graphically improved maps, and I'm going to do that every single season from here out for probably about 2 years to complete the graphical overhaul. We got the advanced repel that we talked about earlier. We've got a new pick and ban system. This means you can ban an operator every single round in ranked, but when you switch teams, they get reset. Then we've got the new communication wheel, looks awesome. Weapon inspect looks awesome too. Veteran rewards looks awesome. And we've got unranked return, which is pretty good, but we are losing standard. Audio overhaul, cannot wait to play the test server and see how this plays out. We got the new esports tab in game. Just you can check if teams are playing esports and you can go watch them. We got a new player onboarding with some AI improvements. Then you've got the new enlisted playlist. This only hangs around now until you're level 18. Lets you play against AI so you can figure out how the game works. Then once you've gone above 18, you go and do field training, which again is AI, but now you can do it above 18. So kind of complicated, but for most players, of course, you're not going to see it. Then you got your clearance level revamp. So this is good. As you level up now, you actually get stuff. So you might get like alpha packs. But this is mainly for new players where you will get a whole bunch of stuff as you're kind of leveling up through the clearance levels. So, nice to have a bit of progression there. There's the addition of the first person shadow, which currently does not exist in Rainbow Six Siege. Good to add it in. Then we've got a new outline system. Be an interesting thing to check and visually see what it looks like. We've got momentum improvement. We've got some tinnitus changes for the audio, and then we've got the new UI throughout the entire game. We've got improvements to the battle pass, but it's still the kind of map thing you go around. You've got shield guard, which is all the anti-cheat stuff. They have not announced anything major here, but they did say something special was coming on launch day. So don't know if that's just a big update to the kind of anti-cheat stuff, or if they've got something else they're keeping, locked up until then. We'll have to wait and see. Of course, we've got the balancing, so the Sledge, the Jackal, the Blackbeard, and the Electrical Flex. We got good old Clash. We got matchmaking improvements. They're doing a lot of matchmaking improvements recently, so hopefully it's all going to start paying off. We've got some new long-term progression, and these are in the form of badges, but only for Siege Cup and for Dual Front. I just want operator-specific stuff, so hopefully we'll get there eventually. You can also now see your career stats in the game, which is awesome. Then we have this. This is the seasonal camo. Now, what's interesting is this is, of course, uniforms and all that. Usually they have a weapon here with a weapon skin on it, and they don't have that. So they say here, the beginning of a new era, time to rejoice and unleash your overflow energy. Celebrate occasion with Daybreak seasonal camo headgear and uniform skins. The seasonal camo will be released at launch and is available for purchase throughout the season. Once unlocked, you can use it with your operators indefinitely. But obviously, they just mentioned here headgear and uniform. So I don't think there's a weapon skin. I do not believe there's going to be a seasonal weapon skin. That's my feeling from that. Moving on from that, we've got operator price decrease, and then we've got some additional updates down here. So new discovery playlist, this is just a playlist that's going to have all the new graphically improved maps in it. So when the game launches, you can go and play them and have a look at the graphical upgrades. We've also got quick match upgrade. We've got some deathmatch playlist changes, and they're saying permanently removing arcade. So they got a little bit down here saying that they're removing the arcade playlist to make room for improved and more curated arcade modes. So this, unfortunately, is gone. The arcade playlist is just going to be deleted. But they do say they're looking to bring something back in its place, but it will only be temporarily available when the new stuff, the new arcade mode is released. So a bit confusing in that sentence. We'll see exactly how that goes out. But right now, the arcade playlist is gone. Then we got some changes to the economy. Of course, with the game going free to play, I think there'll be potentially quite a lot of stuff. They've changed the pricing on R6 credits and stuff like that. So I think there'll be a lot of changes economy-wise as we go free to play. So resource distribution was modified so each playlist is more equal in terms of earnings. Adjustments were made to the economy so players can make a good amount of daily progress earlier in play session. So we'll see how this plays out. I think it'll probably make some more of a grind. So with Renowned, we've introduced a daily Renowned challenge and Renowned reward at clearance level up. On clearance level up, we reduced the end of match Renowned reward. So yeah, I wonder how it's going to play out indeed. So Battle Pass points, challenges rewards increased to 1000 from 850. End of match Battle Pass now time-based with a slightly lower payout. They're also changing the XP for clearance level stuff as well. And Alpha Pack progression, small adjustment Alpha Pack progression in each playlist helps guarantee that there are no balance in terms of progression per match per hour played. This mainly favors game modes with longer matches like Ranked. You've also got some UI changes for Connect Invitation, Destruction Physics, so bullet holes are now cleaner, improved visuals, as well as saving memory for processing. There's also a UI change to the loadout menu as well. There's no actual changes to loadouts, it's just that they're moving stuff around visually with the order of stuff. We got some new onboarding tutorial stuff, we got some AI improvements, and we got the Clash being added to the AI playlist as well. So yeah, that is it. It feels like we went through a lot of information there, but really, I don't think it's that crazy a season. I don't think it's mental. It feels a bit more mental than it really is. And my overall conclusion here is that this seems like a decent season, and I'm looking forward to just getting it and really want to buzz right through the 3-week test server and get straight to the actual live server launch and just start playing. So I'm hoping it's going to be a lot of fun. Anyway guys, thanks for watching and I'll catch you next time.